Former President Donald Trump's plan to use the special master to, in my opinion, delay the Justice Department from going through the documents seized from Lago continues to blow up in his face, which is great. You love to see it. We all do. Now, Special Master Raymond Dearie, according to reports, demanded that the former president state for the record if the Justice Department's inventory of government documents reclaimed from Mar-a-Lago is accurate. So now look, it makes total sense from a legal standpoint, for an investigative standpoint, for Raymond Dearie to ask this. It seems like a normal request. Like, hey, look, just go in the record and confirm the stuff that was taken from Mar-a-Lago so that we can just, know what's there and be accurate about it. Well, again, the stated reason for Trump's team, another thing that makes sense or would make sense, is that they asked for the special master in order to have them go through the documents to ensure that there was nothing in there that could be protected by attorney-client privilege. So, hey, I want a special master to go through all the documents that were seized to make sure that there wasn't anything that was personal, to ensure that there wasn't anything mixed into it, because it was just a mess of documents all kind of filed together with no coordination, nothing like that. And we just want to make sure that you go through every single one and make sure that it is not protected by attorney-client privilege, which, again, there's a lot of documents, somewhere around 200,000 pages of documentation that they would have to go through. So, look, to me, that suggests that the fact that they want to go through that, all of those documents, special master, means that they want to delay. They want to take time for this to happen. Okay? So now, that said, all Raymond Dearie is asking is, why don't you just go, tell the court, let us know that it's accurate. What's the big problem? Now, the big problem for Trump, well, there's a couple, I guess, problems with this. Again, he's going under oath to the court on the record, and we know Trump, he has verbal diarrhea.
Dumps. Big, massive dumps.
So, of course, it would be very difficult for him to be able to resist the urge to perjure himself. Or, of course, invoking the Fifth Amendment, both of which would likely not be good. They would be bad, although, of course, perjury would end up having the worst outcome. And just invoking the Fifth, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're guilty. It just means that if you say something, you run the risk of incriminating yourself, but you have that protection. That, again, doesn't mean that you're guilty or innocent or anything like that. It just means like, hey, I just want to make sure that I don't incriminate myself. And then from a PR perspective, though, that does look incredibly bad. And of course, telling the truth would also be bad, because he would have to admit that, yes, he did indeed have classified material at Mar-a-Lago that did not belong to him, that actually belonged to the United States government, which would be a violation of several different laws, including the Espionage Act. So now we have the Trump team, who is pushing back against this very, very reasonable request. And they're claiming that Dearie, who was chosen for the job by Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon at their suggestion, they're now saying that the judge is, the special master, he is exceeding his authority. We can't have it. We can't have it. He's asking for too much. What? Let the irony sink in about this entire situation. Now, this is according to reports. Trump's team argued in court, argued to the court, Trump's team argued the court order appointing Dearie only made mention of a declaration from a government official verifying the Justice Department's search inventory, and that there was no such reference to a declaration from the Trump side. Adding, the former president's team also claimed that Dearie is exceeding his authority by asking the documents from the search be logged in categories more specific. Oh, we don't like specificity here than what U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon, who granted Trump's request for the review, contemplated in her appointment order. The report goes on to add that Trump's legal representatives are also asking for more time due to the volume of documents Trump was found to possess, an estimated 11,000, again, around 200,000 pages. In a letter to Dearie, they wrote, in conversations between plaintiffs' counsel and the government regarding a data vendor, the government mentioned that the 11,000 documents contain closer to 200,000 pages. That estimated volume, with a need to operate under the accelerated timeframes supported by the government, is the reason why so many of the government's selected vendors have declined the potential engagement. So basically they're saying, we can't find anybody to go through this. You know, we just can't find a vendor. Now the court's like, maybe if you pay them first, you know, because we know Trump has a history of not paying the people that he hires. And that's absolutely true. Now, but let's just kind of break this down a little bit more simply. All right. Trump asked for a special master. He gets it. And is now mad that the special master is not doing the job the way that Trump wants him to, which is, in my opinion, to delay at such time that Trump either gets into power or finds some other way to escape consequences for what would be serious crimes with serious penalties. If you and I did this, if we had government documents stolen, what would happen? We'd be thrown in prison immediately. In fact, we have situations like that where the Trump administration, as well as the Obama administration, had used the Espionage Act against whistleblowers that were exposing war crimes, or the spying apparatus that were spying on American citizens. So understand that this entire situation, Donald Trump has been handled with kids' gloves. Special privileges here, special privilege there. Kids' gloves, we're going to ask you very nicely to return the stuff that you stole that doesn't belong to you. Well, all the while, the guy's having more, verbal diarrhea saying, oh, I declassified it with my mind powers. All I had to do was I just had to think it. That's all I had to do. And they were declassified. We're not talking about the classification. It's the fact that you stole the documents that didn't belong to you. That's the issue here. Oh, and these documents actually did belong to me because I said so. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Well, I took them. Yeah, finders keepers. Yeah, I'm going to take these documents. Yeah, they're mine now. No, not how it works. Not how it works. Now, again, the fact that he and his lawyers do not want to admit that the DOJ's inventory is correct, I mean, it really tells you something, right? Because again, he had these documents, he failed to return them when he was asked very politely to do so, and then lied about not having any more documents when he clearly did, because later on, they found additional documents when they went and searched Mar-a-Lago. All of this obliterates his defenses. Again, if he admits in court that this is correct, then he can't claim that, oh, no, it was the FBI that planted them. And I didn't even actually have specific documents here. They weren't in my inventory, but somehow they showed up on the FBI's inventory. Nope. Can't do that. Can't use any of his other ridiculous defenses. And with no defenses, they have no choice but to attack. And the end goal of this attack is, I think, that they want Judge Cannon, who is a Trump lackey, to remove Dearie and find someone else. So they're going to go judge shopping to find somebody who will be willing to do whatever the Trump team wants to make sure that Trump ultimately gets away with things that, again, no one else would. No one else would. Now, the DOJ did push back in a letter on Trump's objections to the process laid out by Dearie, writing the former president, quote, bears the burden of proof in proceedings. Quote, if he wants the special master to make recommendations as to whether he is entitled to the relief he seeks, plaintiff will need to participate in the process, which they haven't. Again, the whole thing is obstruct, delay, delay, delay. Trump's lawyers fired back, accusing the Department of Justice of making antagonistic comments. Are you kidding me? I don't think there's anybody that makes more antagonistic comments than Trump. I guess Alex Jones might be a real close second, or maybe not. Maybe Alex Jones might be doing it more when you check on his, defamation case, where he's, literally calling the judge a tyrant, trying to link her to pedophiles, etc. So, he might take number one, but Donald Trump's very close number two. Going after the FBI. Attacking them with nonsense. I'm no fan of the FBI, for sure, but that's for stuff that they actually did. Not for the nonsense stuff that Trump just made up. Now, here's the text of that. DOJ continues to mistake itself as having judicial authority. Its comments are not argument, but proclamations designed to steamroll judicial oversight and the plaintiff's constitutional rights, Trump's lawyers wrote. What's funny is that even though Trump got everything he asked for, except I guess for the one thing he ultimately really wants, which is to just get away with everything, he still complains. But again, just like the special master request, I'm guessing that the letter that, they sent claiming the DOJ is, doing terrible things, being so antagonistic, it might actually backfire on him. In fact, according to Andrew Weissman, a longtime former federal prosecutor, he warned, quote, that the tone of this letter and skewed fact presentation is only going to piss Dearie off. He is a fan of decorum and honesty. Go figure.